Making Tax Digital is coming, and there are still more fictional commentary and there are some facts. So let's check out some more fiction versus facts to make sure you know what is happening with Making Tax Digital. Hi, I'm Kimberly Shapcott, qualified chartered accountant, property investor and entrepreneur. Let's sit down and have a chat. Back for part 2 of Making Tax Digital, fact and fiction, and some more questions that we have been asked on what is happening with Making Tax Digital to try and get rid of that fiction out of our life and make sure we're looking at factual information. So first question for our video today. Making Tax Digital compatible software is expensive and complicated. Now, I'm not finding this, is the honest answer. The Making Tax Digital software is out there and it is cost effective. I'm not going to say it's for free. I'm not going to say it's really, really cheap, but it's out there and it is not excessively expensive. From a property related one, we've got things like Landlord Studio and Hammock, who are doing great things to keep things affordable and also getting it so it works for landlords. We've got things like QuickBooks and Xero, which if you're self-employed or you want to use them for your property side of things, again, are great solutions. So there is a lot out there and they are affordable. The key thing from my point of view for software is finding one that you can use, that you understand, that you're happy to use. Because obviously, if you're going to have to be doing this regularly, you don't want to really be using something you're not happy using. However, do speak to your accountants because they will probably have a preferred software solution. And if you work with the same one that they're working with, as you do anything with your accountant, it does make it that much easier. So let us move on to our next question, which is Making Tax Digital replaces self-assessment entirely. Now, Making Tax Digital is sitting alongside self-assessment. We kind of have two options now, and it is a completely different system. So if you are not within the Making Tax Digital system, you'll be in the self-assessment system for any rental income. If you move into Making Tax Digital, you will no longer do a self-assessment. What you will do is you'll do your Making Tax Digital returns and your final declaration, which in effect replaces the self-assessment return that you were doing. So you're kind of doing the same thing, but you're just on a different track. You're going the same route, you're doing the same thing, but you're going on a parallel track to the self-assessment. If at some point you fall off the Making Tax Digital limits and you come down and reduce what you're doing, then it's whether you end up back on the self-assessment train rather than the Making Tax Digital train. But as I say, they're both going in the same direction, they're both ending up in the same place. It's just there's a few more stops on the Making Tax Digital train rather than the self-assessment train. Our next question is, I need to get everything perfect by April 2026 or face penalties. Now, HMRC has typically for these sorts of changes done soft landing. So I would be very deeply surprised if they start issuing penalties if people are not doing things perfectly correctly. Obviously, from the 6th of April, there is actually nothing to do apart from to make sure you're starting to keep your digital records. So that means it's not everything has to be perfectly in place on that day. We do have some grace period because the first submission is not going to be needed to be completed until the 7th of August. So we've got the whole of the 6th of July all the way through to the 7th of August to get that first submission submitted. So you need to be keeping your digital records, and then there is time to get things submitted. So it's not everything has to be done by that 6th of April date. We have got time, but ideally you want to have your software in place, or if you're using a spreadsheet, make sure you know what you're doing with it before that date so that you have got everything in place so you're ready to start maintaining those records if you're not already doing so anyway. And then when we get to the end of June, beginning of July, you'll be ready to have a look at how you go about doing that next step for it. If you're working with an accountant, just check their processes. I know from our point of view, we're just starting to get all our processes in place, having put some of our clients onto the beta to see how do we make those submissions, what is the time frame, what do we need to be doing. So we're in the process of doing that, and I know many accountants out there are also in that process as well to make sure that they can serve their clients as well as they can as we go into that first submission period in July 2026. Our next question is, Making Tax Digital only affects income. I don't need to track expenses digitally. And unfortunately, the answer to that question is no, you need to be tracking all of it. In that submission that we are doing, we are going to have to report our income in the quarter and our expenses in the quarter. So it is very important that you are submitting and keeping track of all of that information, whether it be spreadsheet, whether it be software, so that when you come to do your submission, you are ready to do it. If, for example, as I've said before, you pay your insurance on your credit card and you overlook it, it is not the end of the world, and that can be incorporated into the next submission. But ideally that will get dealt with because you'll know you paid that in that period, and you'll record that on your digital records so that everything is fully recorded and paid out each period, or submission is submitted each period. My final question for our part 2 of facts and fiction is, if my rental income is just below the threshold, I don't need to worry. And my response to that is probably, you need to take care. Being just under at the moment potentially means you may be just over in the future. And I'm talking about anyone who may be thinking, I'm under 20,000, I don't need to worry about it, I don't have to do Making Tax Digital. And my question is, maybe you will. Because if you look at now, we're in 2026, as you're seeing at least these initial videos, 20,000 doesn't come into play until the 6th of April 2028. We've got the Renters Reform Act, which is coming into play in 2026, and there will potentially be the opportunity to be increasing your rent over the next 2 years. So depending if your rent increases over the next 2 years, you may actually be over that 20,000 threshold in the next 2 years with increases in rent. If you are not over in those 2 years, that's not a problem. You won't be in yet. And the reason I say yet is because that 20,000 is sitting there going forward. So if your rent is increasing each year or every other year, depending how often you increase your rent, at a certain point, you will likely go over the 20,000 depending how many properties you have. If you have one property and you're only getting 10,000 income, it's going to take you a long time. You're probably okay. But if your income is 18,000, in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you are probably going to be within the Making Tax Digital regime. And as soon as you're going over the 20,000, you will be fully into Making Tax Digital and need to comply. Which year you need to comply with the regulations is the question, and we won't know the answer to that until we get into the detail of it, because in the tax year you report you go over 20,000, you won't be able to then be in from the year that you are in. So it may be you get a year's grace and you go in the following tax year after you've reported the 20,000. So there is a bit of a timing of when you will need to go in, but it's not an if, it is more a when. So just be careful if you think, oh, I'm at 18,000 and I'm never going to be in. You may be in the future. It is more, you don't have to do it yet, and the future will come eventually, unless you obviously sell the property and your income disappears. Also, the thing there to just be considerate of is if you then start a self-employed business and you've got that 18,000 rental income, the self-employed business added with your rental income may also take you over. So there is a few different reasons why you may end up going over. So it's just a take care, be cautious, don't assume it definitely doesn't apply to you. It may not apply now and it may not apply in the next couple of years, but don't lose touch that you're close and it's something to just consider each year should you be doing something. As you can see, there is a lot of nuances with the Making Tax Digital side of things. If you have any specific questions that you want to get fact rather than fiction, then please do leave comments and we'll add a further video as we find more questions that people are asking to help get rid of those fictional content and get some facts out into the ether. Hopefully today you've learned more about the facts of Making Tax Digital and the fiction is starting to disappear. If you have any questions, then please do leave a comment and we'd love to do some more fiction busting facts for you on our channel to make sure you know exactly what you are having to deal with. Please like the video and do subscribe to the channel, and let's make tax less taxing.